What is up, fight fans? So I was sitting here getting ready for work, man. I was thinking about like what happened to Anthony Rumble Johnson. Like he was supposed to come back, and then he's not back yet. So I'm like, let me look up his wiki. And lo and behold, he's eligible to return February of 2021. I can't wait. So I know he's like in the USADA testing pool, supposed to get ready for that and all that. So once he's approved, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. This dude used to be my favorite fighter. Let's talk about his skill set really quick, man. I mean, I can't fanboy or rave more on this dude's fighting style. Anyway, all right. He's probably one of the top three strikers in my opinion, the heavyweight history, UFC light heavyweight history. His footwork, his defensive awareness, the way he drives his punches from his hips to execute that devastating right hand. It's just special. It was like a work of art. I remember when I used to go out to watch his fights, dude. I used to have the Rumble shirt. I used to just be out there just punching air on the way to the bar. I mean, just like he's gonna, I feel it. I feel it in my bones. It's gonna be a knockout tonight. Like I just used to be like, just like, it's all in, bro. I was just be like, this dude is exciting. He's like the Mike Tyson of UFC. I'm like, this dude is the real deal. So, let's talk about some of his just past history, like his past fights that were just like crazy. That I remember going out and just being at the bar like, damn, like shit like that. So I was just like, that Ryan Bader knockout when he just, what was a knockout when he was like on the ground just sleep. When he just ground and pounded him, man, it was just, until he was like literally half dead. That Alexander Gustafsson when he was like, just he was on top and just just ringing in right hands from the bottom. His head was just like bouncing. Gustafsson's head was just bouncing back like a rag doll or something. It was nasty. Um, and then that knockout of Glover. I don't know if y'all remember that when he just like kind of just he just walked him down. He was circling away from Glover's right. So instead of throwing like a left hook or something, he just like went straight up the middle with an uppercut and just put him out, dude. I had never seen Glover just go to sleep like that. That was just impressive. And then that Jimmy Manuwa fight. Oh man, like dude, like when I know he like walked him down. They were fighting in the middle of the cage, and he just like was he just. I remember he threw a big overhand right, and then when Jimmy's head hit the ground, he didn't know where he was, and the ref was like, "The fight's over," and Jimmy was still trying to get up and fight. So that was one thing I remember about that fight. It was just like he just put Jimmy to bed, dude. And Jimmy at the time was a bad dude. Like he was a bad man. Jimmy got power himself, and I was just like, this is gonna be a war here. And it's like when you put a opposition in front of Rumble who's got striking prowess or striking whatever you want to call it, striking eliteness or elite. I don't even know the word. He's just got striking, just the best striker both together. When you got two great strikers together, man, I just feel like Rumble's just gonna have the upper hand. He's just got too much boxing in his background, and he's also a wrestler. Has a good wrestling background, but he's definitely a striker by heart. Um, the only thing that the only downfalls he's had is those two DC losses, where DC just laid on top of him pretty much the whole fight. And but if he gets another shot at DC, like at DC at this age, if DC ever decided to come back, I think Rumble will have the edge. I think if he worked on that takedown defense, he would get the knockout because he already sent him flying across the cage in that first fight. And if DC just would have stood up with him, I just think it would have been over faster than it would have started. But DC was smart and wrestled him. So the next thing I want to talk about is how he sets up his wins, man. It's because it's not about just a knockout. On the feet, he's probably better than most boxers in the 205 division. So besides maybe Francis, other than that, who's a better boxer than him in the entire 205 or the heavyweight division? I mean, you could say Stipe, but I don't think Stipe possesses the type of power he does. Like Stipe can knock people out, but like I don't know. I just feel like Rumble and Francis's power is just on another level. Like you got like ranks of 8 to 10. I mean, I just feel like Francis and Rumble are like 12s and 13s. I don't know. Francis and Rumble. I don't know that I'll talk about that in another video. But right now I'm just talking about Francis. I mean Rumble. So I just can't imagine, man. Um, if Francis and him fought though, that would be like Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior or something. But like I said, let me get back on topic. Talking about Rumble. Um, but in his fights, man, back to his awareness of his opponents. He's not just a offensive striker. He's smart, man. He's just like John Jones. He's really cerebral. He's really smart. He just like most of these smart fighters, they circle their opponent's weaker sides. He sets up his traps with feints, left jabs, and heavy leg kicks to disguise the big right hand that's coming, man. Like that's how most of these fighters do it. They'll tease they'll tease that weaker side. They'll tease with that weaker hand. They'll tease with that weaker leg, and get you thinking, oh, he's not gonna throw that big right hand tonight. And then they'll catch you with that big right hand when you least suspecting it. So it's like if you look at any of his fights, I just went back and watched about 5 fights just now. He sets up everything with his weak side, and then he comes with the power, and he puts you to bed. It's just like people haven't caught on to that yet. I mean, other than DC, he's just like, I ain't gonna stand with him. I'm gonna take him down. And like I said in previous videos, if you take somebody's base away, their foundation, their feet, their legs, their all of that, they can't do anything to you. So, other than DC, nobody has figured out his puzzle. Has figured out the puzzle of Rumble Johnson. And hey, kudos to him, man. I probably wouldn't stand up with him either. I mean, I wouldn't stand up with any UFC fighter, but that's another story. Um, but that's another thing on his feet, man. He's got speed. Like if you look at his fights against like Glover, Bader, Manoa, and all these dudes, if you look at them when they're fighting, they're standing up, you can see the speed advantage is for Rumble. The dude has big biceps, big muscles, big traps, big triceps, but the dude is fast. He may be full of muscles, man, but he's fast. He has got some speed behind his punches, man. You can see the difference between his opponents. He just looks faster. He just is faster, and that's how he's really getting these wins. Like it's speed, it's the precision, it's the timing, it's all of that, man. When you put all that together, the power, the precision, and the timing, you're gonna win a lot of the times. And it's just fight sense. I don't want to say common sense, but it's just fight metrics, fight sense, fight science, whatever. So the next thing was yeah, like I said, speed, and it's the ones that people don't see coming. Just like John Jones said, when you get knocked out, it's not really about how hard somebody hits you; it's the ones you don't see coming. And Rumble does have power. He'll put you to sleep with you looking at the punch coming right at you, but it's the one these guys don't see coming. Like I said, when he's sitting with the left hand to fake for the right, or sitting with the left kick to fake for the right kick, or the fake for the right overhand or the right uppercut. Those are his two favorite weapons. If you look at his fights, it's the overhand right and the uppercut. So definitely he's setting people up for traps, man. He's setting you up for death, basically. Um, so the next thing is this: when Rumble left, he was the number one contender. Of course, he lost to DC, so he was number one ranked contender. So I would assume if the UFC gave him a fight, they would hopefully give him respectfully a top 5 fighter. So right now, as of today, October 6th at 8:46 in the morning, the current lightweight top 5 lightweights are light heavyweights are Jan, of course, is the champ. Thiago's number 1. Reyes is at 2. Glover's at 3. We've seen him. We've already seen that fight. He got mauled. Rakic is at 4. So I would assume Rumble will step in at 5. And I think he handily beats all of these dudes. So I'm gonna go out of those 5. Who should the UFC give him? I'm gonna say Santos, and why? It's a great matchup. It's a fan-friendly fight. They're gonna be standing. They're gonna throw the bombs. And let me get into why it's the most interesting matchup to me. Besides that, both of these dudes like to throw the overhead right hand, and they throw with accuracy, power, and precision, like I said earlier. What Santos does possess though is that black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That word gets me every time because I'm like I talk fast already, so it's like hard to say that when you're trying to do a video. But anyway, so if the fight does go to the ground, I'm gonna give that edge to Santos. But standing up on the feet, I'd give the edge to Rumble because he's his first team all chaos, man. He's just like I think he has this little bit edge on the power. Santos is no punk. He will knock your lights out too, but I just give the edge to Rumble on the power. Santos has been known to blitz people, going backwards and forwards. We've seen him knock out Deanne going backwards. We've seen him knock out people going forwards. Um, the dude is just dangerous. He's scary. But if Rumble can perfect his takedown defense, kind of like John Jones, I think he'll be unbeatable at any division. Um, but yeah, man. But other than that, man, if he just perfects his takedown defense, he could beat anybody, especially if he gets a rematch with DC. Uh, if he fights Santos again. So yeah, that's what I'm going with on that. Now let's go to their stats. Both fighters stand at 6'2". Rumble has a reach advantage though of 78 versus 76 for Santos, which I think would come in handy during a striking war. I think if Rumble can stay on the outside and chop down Santos's legs, take out his base with some strike, because he's a heavy leg kicker. So if he takes out Santos's base with some good big left kicks and right kicks, Santos will crumble. And I think that'll take his arms away, kind of like John Jones when John Jones kicked his legs until Santos was still throwing hammers, but he still made Santos weakened, and he just wasn't as scary as opponents he should have been. But yeah, if he took out his base, kicked his legs pretty much off, gets in closer as it comes in closer, gets that dirty boxing in closer in the clinch, kind of like DC does. I think he could set up some feints and left kicks, set up some feints with the left jab, slip some punches, head movement. He's good at that, and this is speed, man. All of that just comes into play, and he could sneak an uppercut through the guard like he did with Glover. He could, like I said, I think if he wants to win, he would probably have to land a big looping left hook, because I think Santos would be too. He's smart, so I think he would be too keen on that right hand coming. So I think Rumble would have to just practice his left hook as much as possible if he hadn't already. Just get that left hook down, or get a big left kick down. And I think if he just circles Santos's right hand and just lands a clean, like I said, lands a clean uppercut or a sneaky left hook, I think Rumble could win. And but yeah, man, just as long as he circles away from his power hand, it would be like lights out. So let me know in the comments, man, who y'all think will win. Subscribe, share the video. All right, I'll hit you guys up with another video pretty soon. See you later.